This is for Colby Davis, who's a residential painting contractor growing one of the largest painting companies. I want to show you what deep research looks like in assembling content libraries in America. You can see he runs Davis Painting, and because his own personal brand is not as strong, he hasn't worked on it. He's worked on his own companies and not wanted to show his face, this kind of thing. But now it's important to, as you're building, you're buying out other companies and becoming more prominent, being on podcasts. You got to show yourself, improve the SEO of your company. I ran this through the deep research of ChatGPT, Grok, which is X, which is Twitter, and then Gemini, which is Google's deep research. And what the deep research function does is it works a little bit harder. Instead of just giving you the immediate result, it'll create a plan, ask you, do you want to modify the plan? And I want you guys to tell me what you think is the best one of these three and why, and then I'll give you my thought. So I said, make a sheet of everything you can find about Colby Davis, CEO of Davis Painting, so I can write an article about him. I'm giving it context. And here you can see it started to do some searches, and here's the related citations. There's not a lot here, as we'd expect, because a lot of it's not connected, and maybe there's other people named Colby Davis, and there's a Colby Davis jewelry company in Boston. And because there wasn't much there, I invoked deep research. You can see this button here. And I said, be more comprehensive. And I also told him why. Because we want to have specific facts that honor the first E in EEAT, which is Google's framework: experience, expertise, authority, trust. But the experience part is so key. And here it formed a plan. I gave it context. And then it took 13 minutes across 27 sources. So deep research cost them more money. Probably cost them a couple dollars to run this query and aggregate, go through this whole plan as it shows how it does the thing. And you can see it wrote a pretty decent article. It needs a better title, some other things like this, but it's not bad. The citations are here just for fun. I also tested against virtual assistants and tested against other people to see if they could write something by paying $20 or a few hours of a human doing it. No surprise the AI does a better job. But you need a human to, of course, take it to the last step, the last mile. So you can see this is not bad in terms of information about him. This is pretty accurate, but a lot of it is from, you can see, my own site and his own company here. It's kind of funny because writing a featured article about someone actually improves what shows up in Google and improves what the AI will see, especially when we use our particular tools, Google Schema and whatever tied together. You can see it's quoting the sources here. Now let's look at Grok. Same thing. And it put together, this is their deep research, 72 sources, 54 seconds. More sources because obviously it's relying upon more Twitter-ish kinds of sources, but in this case, 72 web pages. And it knows to tie in Colby Davis to Davis Painting. You can see here's the plan that it gave and how it's researching and aggregating, kind of like a human would do in a multi-step way, which is called reasoning. Reasoning is the AI way of saying linking together multiple steps. And look at this. It's not bad. Unexpected detail, limited personal information. Okay, well, at least it told us that. Survey note, comprehensive profile. But I said, can you organize this into a topic wheel based on what you know about what I teach? And so it tried. You can see it's like, well, I'm trying to figure out what is the topic wheel and how do we, put the items together. But it doesn't really understand because, look, it came up with these topics, which aren't really, these are sort of related, but I don't think these are the right topics for this guy who's running a painting company. I mean, certainly entrepreneurship, certainly painting, business ethics, because that's what you need to grow a business to hire other people when you scale. But I'm not really sure. See, Grok, so I'm not really sure about the topic wheel. Lacks direct information about their teaching subject for Colby and myself. So look, the sources it includes our article on what's the topic wheel. But other people are talking about a topic wheel, so it's not really it's not really sure. So the AI fails because of a combination of A, the directions you gave it weren't clear. B, the source material is incomplete on the topic it's researching. And C, the detailed SOP instructions on how to do that are incomplete. So you need to have all three of them work together in order to get the result that you want. And I guess number 4, whoever is the one working on it needs to actually be competent as well, because a human needs to review the result and have it go through several iterations. You never take the first output of the AI. Let's take a look at Gemini. Gemini did a pretty good job. It actually wrote an article, included the citations. It's written in a journalistic kind of way. Of course, I can export it because this is Google and use different Google tools. And these are the related organizations. I like how they put a table here. Look at the sources used. Let's Metrics, his own company, Davis Painting. But look at the sources. I thought this is interesting. Sources read but not used in the report. They should have used the Young Entrepreneur Council because he wrote a guest article there, but it was a weak article. And then there's these other Colby Davises that they decided not to use. There's this Colby College, Davis Institute at Colby College. I think that's funny. So it's smart enough to know that's not it. And other things that mention Colby Davis. So Gemini is smart enough to know, and it should, because Google's probably the smartest of all of them in understanding what is true and what isn't, right? Because Google has a search engine, the other guys don't. They claim they do, but they don't. You can see these other Colby Davis jewelries are being ignored, right? So smart enough to know what to include and not include. So this is Colby and Davis Boston. That's obviously not the same Colby Davis. So neat to see that these other Colby Davises, and no, even still, when you tell it, hey, do this and do that, it'll say it does, and it'll lie to you. That's just, the more human it becomes, the more it does human things, which include lying, being lazy. So there you go. Not bad. Now imagine a VA that can gather your content library, that can build all the positive mentions of anyone that you're working with, of yourself. And that's what we have here. Ethan. Ethan's our VA, our virtual assistant to assemble positive mentions. So I think it's so cool. You don't need as many VAs, but you need quality. You need a higher level worker. Right? There's Stephanie, there's Ethan. We've given them names here. Ethan, assemble positive mentions. It's a custom GPT. You can create your own. You can take our raw ingredients, look at it in the GPTs. We include look at the configuration, the necessary training and documents on how to do that. So if you found this helpful, we're going to turn this into an article to help rank on Colby Davis too. Why not? But you could do this for your clients, do it for yourself. Do it to make yourself more Googleable. This is how you get SEO to work in the right way, because it's all based on gathering real experience and organizing it, not generating stuff, which is what most people use the AI for.